mic in my hand, truth ride shotgun, sliding through the streets where the beats come undone.
Dan and Robert were still terrorizing the immigrants in Jackson Heights, still robbing their shops, and had even started hoarding all sorts of junk in their apartment. I had no choice but to go down to that damn neighborhood again.
Hey Lola, it's been ages since we talked. You don't come to our parties anymore. You're such a bore, seriously.
I need to talk to my son. Where is he?
I don't know, somewhere around. Come on, have a beer.
I left him standing there, rambling, and went looking for Dan.
You talking to me, dude? You seriously talking to me? Dude, you're playing with fire. Dude, you're crazy. Dude, you don't know who you're messing with. You sure you're talking to me, dude?
Dan, cut the crap for God's sake. Stop talking to the damn mirror. What the hell are you doing with that gun? What the hell are you doing with your life, Dan? And what are you turning this apartment into? An illegal warehouse.
Jesus, Mom, you scared me. What the hell do you want?
What do I want? Is that any way to talk to your mother? Robert interrupted, walking in with that damn beer.
Here, Lola, calm down, woman. You're the chillest.
Dude, my mom's leaving already.
Don't listen to him. He's just a kid. Let's sit in the living room and have a chat.
The adult was saying that, but I accepted the beer to spite my son. Dan opted to avoid spending even 5 minutes near his mom, and Robert seized the opportunity to bring the conversation back to where he wanted it.
We need to see each other again, alone.
No way. Not a chance. What happened between us was just a silly fling.
Silly? If it hadn't been for Shorty over there, we would have sealed the deal.
Soon, Dan took a samurai sword and started playing with it. Are you guys gearing up for World War III or what?
We're not joking, Mom. This is serious. These immigrants are invading us, and someone has to do something.
Have you guys ever heard of something called fascism?
Of course, Mom. It's the political movement invented by Fellini.
His name wasn't Fellini, you moron. It was Fettuccine.
His name was Mussolini. Guys, you need to go to college. Stop with the fascist nonsense and get a higher education. Travel a bit, see the world, and you'll view things very differently. Territorial borders have always been terrible for judging people. But they wouldn't listen to me, a woman, without risking being labeled as pillow biters. Our conversation was interrupted by a news crew.
We're from ABC 7. The neighbors have told us that you are the ones robbing in those stores in Jackson Heights. Do you want to clarify something?
Us? Thieves? We haven't robbed anyone. We're great friends with all those immigrants in the neighborhood. We're one big, happy, mixed family in Jackson Heights.
For some reason, Robert let them in. And that was bad news with my son being around.
We don't know who's been robbing those stores, but we do believe those thieves are doing commendable work. Those thieves are modern-day Robin Hoods.
But Robin Hood stole from the rich to give to the poor. And these guys steal from the poor and keep the loot for themselves.
Dan didn't know what to say. That girl had wrecked his brilliant comparison.
Those stores are just fronts. I know it for a fact. Everyone in the neighborhood says so. That's why I support those Robin Hoods, whoever they are. They're heroes, and this country should give them a medal or something.
When the news crew left, Dan informed me that Robert and him had to go. They'd started taking acting classes, and their school required them to watch classic films every week.
So now it's some crap called Decameron by this Pasolini guy no one's ever heard of.
Nice. I've always liked Pasolini. I'll join you.
No, Mom, you can't come. You've got to be taking acting classes to get into this movie theater.
Don't listen to him, Lola. That's bullshit. Come with us. You and I still have a lot to talk about.
Dude, what are you saying? You and my mom have nothing to talk about, and she was already leaving. Mom, trust me, this movie's just for people who really get cinema.
One of the early episodes of Boccaccio's Decameron shows a group of nuns taking turns seducing a young man who works at their convent. They all enjoy him thoroughly. The scene is hilarious. It exposes the hypocrisy of people who publicly feign chastity and moral outrage while privately indulging in all sorts of debauchery. The guy who really got cinema fell asleep in less than 5 minutes, and then...
These nuns in the movie are turning me on, Lola. Let's go to the bathroom.
All right, get up slowly. We don't want to wake Sleeping Beauty. And yeah, we fucked in the bathroom. I can never seem to stay out of trouble. When the movie finished, as we exited the theater, we bumped into Laura. She was clearly looking for Robert.
Where were you? I haven't heard from you in a week, and you are not answering my calls. We need to talk.
They stepped aside, and after plenty of yelling and crying, Robert and Dan casually strolled home without a care. It was up to me to cheer up my niece.
That bastard wants to leave me, Auntie Lola.
You'll forget him in no time, silly. All you've done is make out a little and sleep together for a few weeks.
Does that seem like nothing to you? I gave him my virginity. I gave him everything.
How to make a 17-year-old girl with nothing in her head understand that virginity is highly overrated.
There's something else, Auntie Lola. He's got me pregnant.
The bastard had gotten my niece pregnant and he knew it. And then he'd had the balls to fuck his aunt.
Robert says that if I decide to have the baby, I'll never see him again.
And if you decide not to have it?
Then he says we can stay together as a couple.
That way, he can keep sleeping with you while fooling around with every girl he gets his hands on. Grow up, Laura. What do you want? Do you want the baby?
I don't know, Auntie Lola. I'm so confused. That's why I needed to talk to you. What should I do?
I raised a child on my own, Laura. Unless you're absolutely sure, I wouldn't recommend it. If I were you, I'd have an abortion.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That way I can stay with Robert.
What part of this story didn't you understand, you little fool? Find yourself a guy who actually loves you. Laura made me promise not to say anything to her mom, but half an hour later...
My daughter is pregnant. My daughter wants to have an abortion, a sin. Help me, Lola. She won't listen to me, but she'll listen to you.
I think she's doing the right thing, Monica. I was the one who recommended she get an abortion.
You have no decency, Lola. You're definitely going to hell. Goodbye. I don't ever want to speak to you again.
She hung up, and most likely she went off to pray for the souls of her sinful daughter and sister. You won't want to miss the next episode, because my roommate Claire's going on 2 absolutely hilarious dates, and she's about to drop a bombshell that could change everything. Find my story also on Amazon.